Let's be real. When three different pressure points break at the same time, international, internal, and legal, that's not noise. That's structural failure. And that's exactly what's happening in Minnesota right now. So let me break this down real quick. When the United Nations publicly demands an independent investigation into the killing of Renee Nicole Good, that is not routine. That's diplomatic code for we don't trust your system to police itself. Now, the UN does not step in lightly, especially against the United States. They did it because the victim was a U.S. citizen, the use of force is disputed on video, state investigators were blocked, and the federal response immediately turned political. Now, once that happens, the narrative is no longer controlled domestically. This isn't local unrest anymore. It's a human rights question. That's crack one. Here's the part they don't want you sitting with. Agents resisted being deployed to Minneapolis. Not protesters, not politicians, but federal agents. Leaked internal DHS memos show that they struggled to fill volunteer slots. Some agents outright disputed leadership's framing of Minneapolis as domestic terrorism. And that tells you everything. Because when the people tasked with enforcement hesitate, it means that the mission feels legally shaky. The optics are radioactive, and nobody wants to be the next face on the news. Now, a senior DHS official even warned about inexperienced agents and heavy-handed tactics. That's not a confidence issue. That's an oh no issue. That's crack too. Now, this is the one that should stop everyone cold. 6 federal prosecutors resigned. Not over workload, not over policy disagreements. But they resigned because the DOJ was pushing them to investigate the widow of Renee Good instead of the agent who pulled the trigger. Let that sit. The lead prosecutor said the push lacked probable cause and was clearly political, designed to reframe the ICE agent as the victim, to turn the widow into a suspect, and to shift public attention away from the shooting. Now, federal prosecutors do not quit in groups unless something is deeply wrong. That's the legal system saying, you cross the line, we won't follow. That's crack 3. Now, you put all these together and the pattern is clear. International scrutiny says the story doesn't add up. Internal resistance says the mission feels wrong. And legal revolt says the prosecution angle is corrupted. Now, that's not opposition spin. That's the system rejecting its own narrative. And when a government stops defending facts and starts defending optics, when it targets widows instead of accountability, when it leans on disinformation because truth won't cooperate, that ain't normal. They want you focused on control, on force, on fear. But the cracks are loud now. And once the cracks show, the story starts telling itself. So who do you think they're really trying to protect here? And we ain't forgot about that fake AI rap sheet that was circling around the internet trying to make Renee Good look like a criminal and was quickly debunked.